Alright, welcome back. We were working on the tokenizer in the last video, and I think if we go to main here and what happens if we just run it? Nothing really happens. Let's go over here and then we'll say Odin run, and then we'll get this 1 + 2, get an illegal instruction, which is always a good way to start, and it happens in tokenize, not here but in tokenize on line 96, where we try to peek from somewhere, and it's likely in here in scan token when we're looking for a number. So what happens here? If it's numeric, then do this stuff, but then I guess I wanted this to have triggered. How is it defined? What if we do this? Still not, which is kind of nice. Would have been suspicious. So anyway, we're in the number literal. And I think what are we even using this number for? We're not really using it. So why do I have it? Okay, I guess we can remove that. Let's do some print statements. Let's say starting number literal, just starting number, and we'll say peeking next. Let's try to run that. That works fine. That failed. And that one also failed, and it didn't print a whole lot. It only started the number once. Actually, now I do kind of want the number back. So let's say found number. See what that says. No, that one fails. I thought it just worked a second ago. Is it because we're expecting semicolon? Yeah, that seems to be it. Again, we don't really need these. Let's delete that one. So when we're calling scan token, not there, but just in tokenize, we're scanning a token, and then what? I am confused. Because that one fails. Actually, let me open a window down there instead. And let's go to projects here, code and run, 1 + 2 still fails. And let's see. So how does this isNumeric work? Let's have a look at that. Can we just test that? So format, print line, isNumeric, and also copilot disable, let's just do that. isNumeric, and just for a sanity check, and I guess we'll exit. So let's say open run, didn't work. Undeclared name, because we have to say comp.compiler, and we'll exit with 0 code 1, exit code 0, and for whatever reason it's a compile time error to do that. So it's not numeric, which is good. How about this? Actually, I can just use my built-in thing. No. False. So, what the heck is happening? Here we probably should put also check if we're at the end, or do we also have a new line token? Doesn't look like it. Still fails. Making number. I would expect to see that twice when we do this, but it only prints it once. So how can that be? Can we go to this definition and just print making token from this guy? Ah, that's quite weird. is quite weird. Why do we call... We should skip the white space. And let's also print the type. So it's making a ton of error tokens for some reason. Why is it doing that? What is it even? What is even the input here? So let's see, what are the bytes that we get? Red, buffer, and bytes red. Let's try that one. So it read 6 bytes, which seems correct. The last one is a new line. So that all seems fine. But then why does it think... And why are we neglecting one here? That doesn't seem right. Still there's all these errors. Why is that? Let's get rid of this one for now. Let's go here and let's search for that error. There's also some stuff here. Maybe it's all of these that I use. I'm gonna make a different error type. A different instead of error, let's just say ignore, because in here where we match for compounds, I kind of forget what exactly that. Then we're going to say ignore. And this I think is, there's no match at all, so that one should also be ignore. And now let's find those print lines. Again, don't really want them. So let's get out of that. So now we get a bunch of ignores. So that's what I expected. I'm very happy with that. Great. Try it again. 1 + 2. We still get an error. For whatever reason. And that's because the number also, I guess that is also a valid end condition. So maybe this is not the best way to handle it. Maybe what we'll say is just, okay, we passed all the numbers we could. Let's just return a number and hope that the rest, that any error will be caught somewhere else. So I think that's a better solution. So now if there's an error, it should be handled elsewhere. That means, incidentally, maybe it's not a good idea anyway, because now if I do something like this, okay, somehow that gave an error anyway, but I'm not sure that will last, because what I actually wanted to do in this video was to implement identifiers. So let's not do that. Let's take a look here. It is a specific token we have here that we should support, and we should check if the first character is an alphabetical character. If it is, we need to pass we need to basically consume all valid characters. So let's say advance, and then we have this is it n thing. But now if we're at the end, I don't think we want to just fail. I think we actually just return an identifier token. And otherwise, we'll say the current character is the one we get from peeking. And actually, let's do something a little bit different. Let's say this. We have a while loop, basically. Well, no, that doesn't work. Because we need to know we were. So put the while loop down here. And this is not what we want to check here. Actually, what we want to check is that is a valid identifier character. Then we're going to advance. We'll do this one again. And then we will advance to the next one. We'll look at the next one. Once we reach something that's not an identifier, then we're done and we can return the identifier. So now we need some helper functions, namely this alpha and also is ident character. This one, I think we can do like so. So if it's lowercase or it's uppercase. And a valid identifier character is put a P here for predicate. So either it's alphabetical. It can also be numeric, it's also fine, or is underscore, is also fine. Let's try that now. So ABC should give an identifier. Indeed it does. This thing thinks it's fine. It thinks it's fine that the number and the identifier is not separated by a space. So actually maybe that's not too bad, because then we can say things like 5x instead of saying 5 times x. On the other hand, it's quite unusual. So I'm actually not gonna allow it. And we'll say here in the number that actually it has to end in the correct way. Let's try that. This should give an error. It does give an error. This should work. This should work. This should also work. And I think, again, this is an error. So I think that's it. That is passing of identifiers and also a bug fix. So it's a little bit more work on the compiler after a big break, and let's leave it here for this video, and I will see you in the next one.